What's happening on the digital exchanges right now is there are really only two participants. There's market makers and there's speculators. And that's part of what I think is making the market so unhealthy. So we think that bringing in like real demand for payments will bring the spreads down and bring the offer volumes up.
And adjust and integrate new components that we haven't had on our plate. And I think that applies to models. Appreciate that patience will be needed. That it's not going to just happen instantly as you move from one game to the other. Really lift growth in a significant way.
That are the ones using this trade the most, that we remove barriers in their way and that we put a level playing field so that this trade can grow even more.
And the other thing I've always made of Bitcoin, governments, and this is not a technological statement, governments are going to crush it one day.
But it will happen, and it'll happen fast. And you know what? It's going to happen quicker than anyone knows. But the reality is when this thing moves, it's going to seriously move.
But we'll see very soon.
Enjoy the ride, pal.
It's the XRP army.
If you got some bags, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more Moon and Clock news. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra. Bullishness. Shout out to the latest sub. We got Ryan Mason in the building. Appreciate you stopping by, stuffing some bags, smashing them likeys. We got a few videos to go through today. Not much talking. Got a whole bunch of videos lined up. Go ahead. Throw on those moon suits. Throw on those pilot shades. Buckle up. Because the future's extra bullish. Let's go full speed, full throttle into the cryptoverse. We're at the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at 1.09 trillion, up almost 1% in the past 24. We got BTC's dominance 48.1%. We got XRP in that number 5 spot, right around 48.5 cents, up 1.1 in the past 24. We got Stellar XLM right around 10.5 cents. BTC right underneath 27K. We got ETH right around 15.50. We got XDC in the number 52 spot, right around 0.0485. We got Flare 0092, Songbird 00388. We got one from Eleanor Terrett to kick things off. New, according to Reuters, the SEC Gov does not plan to appeal the grayscale ruling. This squares with a lot of people's predictions on the situation. However, another 7 hours to wait to truly be sure. We got Mr. Man XRP. Why is XRP so cheap, you ask? Are banks using XRP? Is there liquidity in the system, you ask? Are banks settling on a digital asset today? David Schwartz answers the question for you.
I was just wanting to know what kind of scale the banks are currently using this to trade amongst each other. Because, I mean, if they're doing it on the existing, traditional crypto exchanges, wouldn't there be issues with liquidity pockets, right? Like for a bank to settle a couple $2 billion amongst each other, I just don't see how they could possibly get to that size without materially moving the market against each other.
So no one is settling on a digital asset at scale today. What's going on at scale today is the messaging part that's able to settle on a digital asset when the liquidity is there. Whether or not what's happening on the digital exchanges right now is there are really only two participants. There's market makers and there's speculators. And that's part of what I think is making the market so unhealthy. The market makers are deathly afraid that speculators are going to see a price go up on one exchange and beat them by a millisecond and sort of, make them take a loss and vice versa. What we're trying to do with XRapid is bring to these crypto exchanges market takers, people looking for liquidity who don't care what crypto prices are doing. The thesis is that if we do that, market makers will make more money because there won't be people trying to force them to, take a buy when the price is dropping and vice versa. And they'll respond, if I see you making a lot of money, I'll make just a little bit less money and someone else will make less money still. So we think that bringing in like real demand for payments will bring the spreads down and bring the offer volumes up. XRapid, we'll see if we're right about that. But you're absolutely right that there has to be more liquidity. The volatility problem is solved by the speed. The next question is, can we solve the liquidity problem? And I think as XRapid scales up, we'll see whether this just brings more liquidity, or in the negative scenario, do we just use up all the liquidity and then the market just dies? I don't think that'll happen. I think what market makers are looking for is people to take the liquidity that they provide. But we'll see very soon.
We'll see very soon. At 801 XRP, the general public expects instant gratification in the face of what monetary policy can do. There's an element of time lag and requires patience.
The instruments that we have been using need to change and evolve and adjust and integrate new components that we haven't had on our plate. And I think that applies to models. That applies also to our communication. That applies to many factors that certainly have an impact on our job as central bankers. And if we do all that, I'm sure that we can get to where our mission drives us to be. And I'm not going to repeat myself, but it's something that is embedded in the DNA of central bankers, which is that price stability obsession that we have in order to facilitate the unleashing of economic forces for the better. I would just mention one thing, which is time management. I mean, the whole debate about transitory team, not transitory team and all that is in a way a reflection of our relation to the passing of time. And the movement that we have observed more recently from our audiences, whether it's people in the trade, analysts, observers, but also the general public, which expect instant results, instant gratification in the face of what monetary policy can do, in the face of how market forces respond, which has always an element of time lag and requires patience. And to actually be able to communicate that and come up with the narrative that will be convincing enough so that those who determine inflation expectations, for instance, appreciate that patience will be needed. That it's not going to just happen instantly as, you move from one game to the other. I think it's something that is a challenge for all of us policymakers.
Patience will be key. And the longer they take, the higher we rise on that XRP rich list. HODL that HODL. Yeah, crypto asset guy. Visualize how much XRP holdings will be worth when it reaches its old all-time highs of 370. Holding 5,000 XRP at all-time highs, 18.5. 15,000 XRP at all-time highs, 55,000. 40K XRP all-time highs, 148,000. 80,000 XRP at all-time highs, almost 300K. 150,000 XRP at 370, half a milli. 300K XRP at all-time highs. A newly minted millionaire. Know what you hold? We got another one from 801 XRP, Christine Lagarde. We central bankers, the holders of the currency, we need to move to the digital area to be ready to launch CBDCs. For us, it's the digital euro. Fam, the narrative has shifted.
Why? What needs to be the new trade initiative that gets us to global economic growth as Ngozi frames it?
The directives and the regulatory frameworks that exist in order to free up the providing of services throughout the region. There is a service directive which has been around for years and years, of which maybe 60% is actually implemented. If only the whole directive was implemented without reservations, without caveats, without carve-out, I think we will really lift growth in a significant way, whether in relation to goods or in relation to digital, because services are largely now digitally supported. That would be, I say, number one. Number two, I think that if investment, and granted, currently the financing of investment is difficult, but if investments were to be focused on the green transition, plus the transition towards a digital economy, I think there would also be a significant upside as a result of that. And to pick up on Ngozi, I think in the digital world, the two things that need to be improved. One is we need a better governance. We have seen one trial after another one, criminal or otherwise, that the digital world can lead to abuses, including in financial services. So governance is one where we need to make progress, and we need to make progress collectively. Number two, and the European Central Bank spends a lot of effort and time on that, we also, central bankers, the holders of currency, we need to move to the digital area, and we need to be ready to launch CBDC, for us it's digital euro, in relatively short order so that we can make it safe and have a monetary anchor that has digital traits as well.
We got another one from 801 XRP. Remove the barriers in the way and put a level playing field so that the trade can grow even more.
But within that, there's something very interesting happening, and that is the growth of digital trade and digitally delivered services trade, which is growing at 8% per annum. Out of $32 trillion of trade, we've got 25 trillion that is goods, 12 trillion services. And of the 12 trillion, 4 trillion almost is digitally delivered services. So this is growing so fast. We're saying, what can we do to make sure that we foster this trade, that we make sure micro, medium, and small enterprises and women-owned enterprises that are the ones using this trade the most, that we remove barriers in their way and that we put a level playing field so that this trade can grow even more.
Free the standard, level the playing fields. You know what's coming. They know what's coming. They can't stop it. We got one from Ferrari. Our target to reach carbon neutrality by 2030 along our whole value chain is absolutely confirmed. Where did they get a HODL? Oh, that HODL? XRP. We got Ferrari accepts crypto as payments for its cars in the US. We got one from Good Morning Crypto. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon bold claim governments will eventually crush BTC. That's because governments created Bitcoin. Bitcoin was just a test. Get ready for the XRP standard to go live.
And the other thing I've always made of Bitcoin, governments, and this is not a technological statement, governments are going to crush it one day. Governments like to know where the money is, who has it, and what you're doing with it.
Don't fall for the media trickery. Load up on those XRP bags. Oh, you still have some time. Meanwhile, with everything happening, XRP still in a 68-month-long accumulation zone. Given XRP's prolonged stay under $1, top market analysis have argued that the digital asset is getting ready to set for a historical recovery. Analysis projecting XRP historical bull market often cited the 6 years since its last all-time high. It characterized the period as an accumulation phase where investors stockpile the token in anticipation of them bulls coming. We got notorious XRP. Which U.S. banks will use XRP first? Bank of America.
Which U.S. bank will use XRP first? When will they? Have they done it already? Will Ripple announce it? Will the bank announce the partnership? And when will DAI get his X account back?
The banks are paying Ripple already. The major banks, which are four, ANZ, NAB, Westpac, and, CBA. But it's just got to take one of them to commit, totally, and the other three will just be, running in line, and then you'll have all the regionals as well following. It's just like a pack of sheep.
So many questions. Reminder, XRP is not security. That's why I believe when we saw Stuart Alderati and we commented on his appearance on CNBC yesterday, that he said this way, shout out to Stuart, XRP uniquely classified in the United States. XRP is not a security in and of itself.
Using HODL for me as a customer has been game changer. It's once you test it, I always say that I'm the biggest fan of HODL because nobody's telling me this story. It's like I've done that myself and I've been benefited from it. You see the two screens and you see how money travels so fast, and then within the minute you have the money that you want to transfer that you were used to transferring in a week-long process, and now it costs you cents on the dollar, and it's so immediate. So from a customer perspective, it has been a wonderful experience. And for us, the partnership with Ripple, from the business perspective, is just so important, and it's such a key part of our business today. And we are truly thinking of expanding together into the region.
So the question is just like Mr. B had asked, how long before we hear a U.S. bank or institution say these same things, these same amazing game-changing effects? Maybe PNC, maybe Bank of America.
But it will happen, and it'll happen fast. And you know what? It's going to happen quicker than anyone knows, right? We can bang on about the current it being cheap, but it's like everything. You can't bring a horse to drink water, right?
Exactly.
You can, I was telling people, when Ripple's at bloody 5 cents, 2 cents to buy it, and even when it got to 20, I was telling people to buy it.
Uh-huh.
But then it got to 380 and, people are like spewing. But the reality is when this thing moves, it's going to seriously move.
Maybe I'm shooting a little too high at the moment. I don't know. But I know one thing. It's coming.
And it'll be just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin took a long time to move, right? And then all of a sudden it went from 4,500 to 20,000. I believe Ripple will be quicker than that. But when it moves, it's going to really move.
It is coming. And I can't wait to see it happen within a U.S. institution.
Exactly. I agree.
And it only takes one or two really large banks who actually know exactly what the technology means.
Exactly.
And what it means for the bank in terms of other clients. And, like you said, banks cannot afford to be out of it.
Exactly.
They literally lose their client base. That's what it comes down to. But it will happen. And it'll happen fast. And you know what? It's going to happen quicker than anyone knows, right?
XRP, the one digital asset they don't want you with, the keys to the new financial system. Banks have been on board. By the time you hear about it, it's going to be too late. See you at the tippy top. We got one from Lady E Crypto Fairy. The annular solar eclipse begins in Oregon at 9:13 a.m. PDT and ends in Texas 12:03 p.m. CDT. Solar eclipse 2023. And we got Riz XRP for the record. Ripple's XRP is better than Bitcoin, says Vitalik Buterin, and it's better than Ethereum, faster, cheaper, more efficient, no upgrades needed. 99 problems, but Ripple's not one.
Markets are forward-looking, and the markets have determined which projects are going to be here for the long run. And Ripple is one of those projects. It's over $1 billion market cap. XRP's market cap is a multi-billion dollar market cap, and they own something like 48 billion XRP. So they're not going away unless crypto goes away. And whatever rules get thrown at the crypto world, there's going to be a few key players that are able to adapt to anything because they have the resources to adapt to it. But when I talk to smaller projects that are creating cooler and cooler things, they don't have such an easy time with capital. I mean, Ripple is able to throw large parties. It's able to host huge events. That doesn't happen with every crypto project. A lot of crypto projects have tight budgets, and they have developers that donate their time. And that's how the projects get started moving.
XRP's not going anywhere, just like the internet's not going anywhere. First, we had the internet of information. Now, welcome to the internet of value. 99 problems, but clarity ain't one. To close things off, it's already game over. Load up while you still have some time. The clock is ticking. Transformation of all value is upon us. We got the BTC halving coming up. And we got flip the chain, individual defendants. It's a small potato thing. Could happen anytime. SEC versus Ripple settlement. Load up while you still have some time.
There are pathways. For example, the SEC could settle the charges with the two individual defendants. If they settle the charges, then there's nothing pending. And at that point, in theory at least, if they wanted to, the SEC could appeal as a matter of right and move this up to the second. So I'm just saying it's the individual defendants, just as the
individual. The aiding and abetting. Yeah, the aiding and abetting.
So that's the small potatoes thing, because the worst outcome for the individual defendants is a fine that they can probably afford. So I'm sure there's some number that makes everybody kind of willing to make that, just as to the individual defendants. So
the show's already over. We're just waiting for the last final dominoes to fall into place. Everything you see on TV is all the show to keep out the weak hands, to keep more FUD in the markets, to keep you out before the transformation of all value. The one world ledger, XRP, hidden in plain sight, faster, cheaper, more efficient, the one true killer app. Where will you be when that regulation jar of molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? Later glitches. I am the XRP Bagman, the Moon Commander, currently up here on the mothership, stuffing some bags and enjoying the show. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in, smashing them likeys for some more Moon O'Clock news. Hope y'all continue to stay extra bullish. Continue holding those good vibes. Remember to sell the FUD.
XRP.
Buy up those bags. Don't forget to spread that liquid love. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to drop a subscribe. Drop a comment down below. All the OG diamond hands out there. Drop a comment down below. Drop an elbow on that like button. I'll catch you up here, top floor on the mothership for the Moon Party. BYOB. Bring your own bags. Be your own bank. Be your own boss. Peace out, crypto ghosts. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow, 10:05 PST for the extra foolish hour.
What we facing, you either sleep or you waking. Big bags like a banker, you ain't got it, you a wankster. I've been holding long and I'm anxious. Stupid money, I'ma buy me a spaceship. I got XRP by the cases, and what's gonna pay off is the patience. It's the XRP army. We all heard the calling. You didn't hear it, no, not sorry. We on an island, please don't call me. It's the XRP army. We all heard the calling.